Hello all, and welcome to what is an update video in my journey to 1 million Gamerscore, and this is January part 2. Okay, so in the first half of January I managed to get just over 13,000, and in the second half of January I've managed to get just over 12,000. So we're going to be looking over what I've done in the second half of January, and as usual there'll be some tips, tricks, hints along the way, and also some advised completion times. So let's crack on and go into gaming, and as usual I do like to do these in chronological order, and we started January part 2 way back with ACA Neo Geo Kazuna Encounter. Now I can't put this in the bracket of easy Neo Geo games, I'm afraid. I would say that all three top scoring brackets for each modes are tricky, are difficult. I must admit, I think it was the high score mode one I spent nearly an entire evening with, but I was determined that I had the skills to do it, so I did do it. The only advice that I could give, it's a unique sort of tag team fighter. I know there's plenty of tag team fighters out there, but in this one you can only tag if you're in this box that you actually start the fight in by pressing B, and it was tricky. It was tricky to get those top scoring margins. Further advice I can give you when you're going for original mode is obviously to create interrupt save datas. If you get 50k after the first fight, I would suggest that'll be your marker for creating your first interrupt save data, and if you get another 40 to 50k out the second fight, meaning you'll get between 90 and 100k after fight 2, create another interrupt save data there, and then go on from there. Try and pick a character that has a projectile which has the input that Ryu has with his Hadouken. There are two ninjas, one's red, one blue, that look identical. They have it, and there was an old guy, like honestly really old guy, you can't spot him, I think he's in the top row. He has that Hadouken input as well for a projectile. Keep your distance and spam those a little bit. They are also, if you're just a few points short, the projectiles do get you 600 points, so they are probably the high scoring connecting move. So I mean, be prepared to put some time in with this one and be a little frustrated. I've got to be honest with you. Okay, second up was Planet Rick's 13. I must admit, Mac91 is going to get a recommendation here for his guide. In fact, as soon as I saw on his Twitter feed that he had a guide for this, I pre-ordered it at a price of £4.19 in the UK, and then as soon as it was available for me to play, I got onto it. His guide is extremely easy to follow, because I'm normally kind of a pause and play kind of person when it comes to following guides. However, I was actually managed to sort of play along with it. It was that good. I believe his guide time is only a couple of minutes. I could believe it. Yeah, it might as well be. It's only 22 minutes long and really easy to follow. So it's an easy completion. It's an easy 1000 as long as you're prepared to use a guide. Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice. I'm a Game Pass subscriber, so I was able to play this. Probably wouldn't have played it if I didn't have a Game Pass, and I'm so glad I did, because this game is visually stunning. It was beautiful and it was a lot of fun to play. It's going to take you, I can't remember now exactly, I think it's somewhere about 10 to 12 hours, assuming you can get the puzzle done quite quickly. But I will say, as far as being an easy completion, it's an easy 900, because 13 of the 14 are just story based achievements and progressional. The last 100G achievement is for finding all 44 lore stones, and for that, guess who I used? I used Mac91, and his guide for finding the lore stone is absolutely bang on. I've got to be honest with you, because some guys, they can just go, yep, the lore stone's here, the lore stone's here, the lore stone's here, but he does all the groundwork for you in the build up to it, if there is any build up to it. So it's absolutely bang on, and without that guide, that would probably be sitting on 900 for a very long while. Okay, next up, World Rally Championship 6. The reason why I played this, I thought these videos come out at a time that roughly the next Games with Gold, sort of 2 games become available. So I thought, what if I played one of each of the Games with Gold available and see how I do out of them. Now, I enjoy racing games, and I have to admit, racing games are probably my weakest genre. So, and within the genre, probably rally games is the weakest still. So I was always going to struggle to get a lot out of this, but I managed to get 155 out of it, and that'll probably be it. Or I may return to it to get out some grindy ones that don't require any skill. But let's have a look within this one and just explain what I got, because I say a lot of it doesn't involve a lot of skill. So again, chronological order please. Go to the bottom, complete your first stage in solo mode. Easier said than done. Rolled your car, must have got that by accident, not surprised. Started a career, I started a career and then quickly came out of it. Drove into a lake. There is a spot in one of the Finland stages where you can just nip in front of a fence and do exactly that. I used True Achievements, so search this achievement, True Achievements, to find a spot on video to help you get that. Finish the stage without taking any damage at any mode. I'm going to cover that one with your first stage in solo mode, because there is it's a driving instruction one within solo mode, driving instruction course or something. Basically it's just you, and if you finish it, that winning stage will actually unlock. And finish the stage without taking any damage if you just drive round at 1 mile an hour basically, or just without really going that first gear, making sure you miss corners, and there's bumps in the road as well, so drive really slowly over those so you don't take off and inadvertently damage your car. You'll unlock both those at once. Completely totaled your car. That's not as easy as it sounds, honestly, but seriously, you have to burn out your engine and smash up your car. It is not easy at all. So unless you're committed like I was that one night where I was like, I'm going to get this, be prepared to put in some time on that one. Again, one stage in cockpit mode. When you start that one, again, use the drive instructor thingy course. D-pad, hit right within the 5 seconds before the race starts and change it to cockpit mode, and then finish the course, and that one will unlock real easy as well. I went through solo and just picked one stage in every mode and finished it. That unlocked. Again, no good at online, but if you're going to give me a 5G achievement for just playing online, no worries, I'll take it. So I did, and I got very lucky here, because obviously I got smashed a few times, and then I came against a guy one-on-one, and he was just as bad as I was, but I got away with the win, because even though I finished 10 to 15 seconds behind him, I did the course cleanly and got no penalties, and got about a minute's worth, so I was able to nab that one, so very pleased with that for my low skill. And watching the credits, if you go into extras, you'll find the credits there. You can't just go in and skip out of them, you have to watch the full scroll, as I call it, until the bottom. However, you can press right bumper and speed it up, so you'll nip out of that quite quickly. So if you've got this hanging around thanks to Game with Gold, that is a few tips to get some easy achievements out of that game. Okay, so let's move on. ACA Neo Geo Ninja Masters does come under the easy completion bracket. I say just because there was one little tricky section. The caravan mode and the high score mode both have the same order of opponents. They don't change in either. And the fourth guy, which is this ninja, which is like this dark blue, dark purpley colour, was the problem one. Literally, once I got past him, I was able to get up to the 6 wins you need for the top bracket in a high score mode. He is the 4th win in that, and he's the final win in the caravan mode. So I was able to get that eventually once I got to him. But I use a female character called Natsumi, I think it was, that you'll find in the top row of the character select screen. Her jump and her sweep have a long range on it. So once I got settled on her, she was my way forward. Yeah, I said the spam the jump sweep tactic worked a hell of a lot for everyone except for that problem guy. The way I got round him is I used a lot more sweeps than jumps in, and when I did jump in, I jumped in from afar because he has this kind of Dragon Punch looking move which counters the hell out of you. But once you get past him each time, you can carry on using your jump sweep tactic, and you'll get those 2 modes done rather quickly. In original mode you have to win 5, 8 and 11. There are 12 including the final boss, so with that one crank it down to level 1, and I would say after each achievement pops, just create an interrupt save data just in case, but I didn't need to, and I got through it real quick. Even the problem guy wasn't a problem on level 1, didn't count the jumps at all, and yep, that the original mode was easy. But obviously when you get to the boss battle, which is number 12, which you then don't need for the achievement, either win it and watch all the credits and wait for the dev screen to come, and then register your original mode obviously, or if you just want to knock the achievement out and you're done with it, just lose to him, let the counter sync out, and then obviously enter your score with A on original mode there. It's not a tough completion. However, I probably put 2 to 3 hours in it one night, but now I know the trick on how to get past Tricky Bloke. I could probably do it in under an hour. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I did say at the end of my last video I was just going to play this for fun. It's exactly what I have done, with an eye on the achievements. And the reason why it's so low is because I've only played the first game, and I'm trying to get some of the relics on gold or above as I go along rather than play the game through. and go back. And I've got 9, but you need all 26 on gold or above for an achievement. So I'm 1 away from getting 10 golden relics or above achievement. But yeah, I spend a lot of I love Crash Bandicoot games, so I'm spending a lot of time with it and just enjoying it rather than trying to rush through for achievements. Okay, Haunted Halloween 86. This became available in the UK for £8.19, and as soon as I heard it had done, I rushed out, grabbed it, bought it, and maxed it out in under 15 minutes. Yes, you have to use a trick where to get 10 lives, there are 4 achievements tied to getting lives, and I did that, as I can say, in 15 minutes because of a little exploit trick. I have actually made a video on this in a new series of mine called All the Pops, where I play a game that you can complete quickly, and you'll see all the pops on the screen as they happen, and the timing on that video is under 15 minutes, and I even spoke for a minute and a half at the beginning in that. So that's just an idea of how quickly this game can be done. Extremely easy completion. Okay, Telltale game. Telltale games are synonymous for being easy. 5 chapters in this one. Each chapter is obviously, I'm going to put the 2 to 3 hour bracket on it. I really enjoyed this. I really loved this. This was some of their best work. Ironically, the first episode of the first chapter wasn't actually the most fun, to be honest with you, but the other 4 were brilliant. They really had me engrossed and gripped in the storylines, especially the last one. Some great narrative. Honestly, some of their best work. I thought they could top some of their Walking Dead work, to be honest with you, but they really have with this, and it's hard to see why or how they've gone out of business. But so yep. So 2 to 3 hours per episode, and you'll get the full 1,000 for playing through. Okay, so I said I wanted to start playing some 360 games, and I did. I played Heavy Fire Shakespeare. Picked a copy of this up in my local CEX store for £4. I knew this had a bulk of easy achievements tied to it, and it's kind of on the rails shooter in the style of a light gun game from the old arcade days. And it has a cover system with one analog stick, and you shoot with the other. It's a little bit tricky on the controls. I think they could have mapped them a bit better, the controls, but I just played with the rookie campaign. Each level unlocks the next one, and each level sporadically, not every level, has like an achievement for finishing that level, which is 50G, and then for finishing the rookie campaign was 25G, and then that unlocks the veteran one, and you work your way through that just the same. So there's a lot of just level completions. I picked up a few progressional ones, like killing enemies a certain amount of times, making certain destructives explode a certain amount of times along the way, and I picked up 670 in about 4 to 5 hours worth of gameplay without really trying or thinking. So the veteran, I would imagine, will be a different kind of story. As for an easy completion, finishing mission 12 without using any continues on veteran could be a stumbling block, but I intend to return to that game in the early part of next month. So let's see in February part 1 how much we've added to the 670 on that. Okay, playing Gears of War Judgment. A big thank you goes out on this one because I managed to get 200 G's worth of achievements tied to the campaign mode by playing a co-op campaign with a good online friend of mine who's been a real gem of a find. A friend of mine, Raven from across the pond, otherwise known as Lakota08. Again, big thanks to her because we played the Insane campaign. I played it on Insane and she played it on Casual and did a lot of the work. As you'll see at the top there, we did all the declassified missions successfully along the way as well, which unlocked a very rare 75G achievement. So as you'll see, got the co-op one done, and because I'd only completed it on normal on my own, I unlocked hardcore and insane difficulty along the way, and actually nabbed the level 30 achievement too. So I got 215 out of it and added a nice little chunk to this along the way. So big thanks to you, Raven. That was absolutely a lot of fun as well. So yeah, big thanks, and the return co-op campaign will be done. I can't wait to do that, and hopefully I can get up to level 40 and maybe even 50 and add a couple of more achievements myself to it at the same time. But we'll get that done for you, do not fear. On a Roll 3D now, cheap game, £3.99, not an easy completion. I'm going to go into this game and show you why. You'll get a lot of achievements rather quickly out of this. So for £3.99 you get half of them done and half of them done quickly, and then you'll get a few more grindy ones done in a little longer. But as you'll see, look, find a life, complete an area, 100 stars, 10,000 points, complete first level, 250 stars, 25k points, 100 jumps, 100 times on a spring, 500 stars, 100 bumper hits, hit 3 enemies consecutively. You'll do that at accident at one point. Another points one. And then you can revisit levels via level select. So that is, once you learn the level, that is, there you go, look, saying thank you to it, and pops up as being online. And so there you go, there's her gamer tag. Honestly, can't thank you enough for that insane campaign run, Lakota, so thank you. Anyway, complete Garden Trial in under 1 minute 12 seconds. So that is going to be tight. Once you learn the level, it will still be tight, but it's not difficult, believe it or not. Didn't realise there was a view credits one. You literally view a static screen, 5G on pops. This is annoying as hell, and the reason why being is I was casually doing it, and I beat him. He started blowing up in under 30 seconds, and the clock kept ticking on, so I had to do it again. So basically, you kind of need to have him start exploding between the 25 to 26 second mark, and then whilst holding right on your analog stick, and that will then manage to keep the clock under 30 seconds. Really annoying that it ticks on like that, but it's not difficult. Just keep on him and keep bouncing on him. He's not a difficult boss, that one. 1,000 stars, 100 enemies, again 100,000 points, all progression, all easy. It's behind you, tells you the level right there, and tells you the fact in the title, it's behind you. So when you get to that level, you'll have to make a jump to get to it. As soon as you do get to it, no worries. That'll be easy, because you'll do that naturally when you get to the last zone. Again, more progressional stuff here that will come. That will come in the last zone as well. These aren't too tricky to find, as long as you keep your eyes peeled. They are quite visible, to be honest with you. You just got to keep your eyes peeled. The only problem is you've got to get them all in a single playthrough. So I must admit, I learnt the game a lot before I did complete the game in one playthrough. When you eventually do, I got that, complete the game by actually revisiting the final boss a few times. So, because that will actually unlock when you hit the last 1,000. You don't have to then complete the final boss, and that'll unlock as well. So that's why that happened. I think I got that, and then I had 3 lives left, and the boss done me, and I had to play the game all the way through again. But as you'll see in a minute, there you go, I managed to do it. Again, it's just a lot of practice. I mean, the game is a lot of fun, although these last 2 achievements above will have you tearing your hair out if you've got any, unlike me. But completing the entire game one playthrough, once I got the hang of it, I actually did it with like 15 lives to spare, because I learnt where all the extra lives were as well. But the game's a lot of fun. It says 3D in the title, but it's kind of a 2D, 3D side-scroller. If you're familiar with Pandemonium on the PS1, that's a good one to relate it to. And here it is, the one that I spent an entire evening with, because you kind of have to learn the level, where you can take a hint and pick a star again straight up afterwards, so that you can take another hit at some point and then pick a star up afterwards, and so on. Eventually I learned the level bit by bit, and oh Christ, eventually I got it done. But what a pain in the arse it was, honestly. But when I done it, I finally done it with like 3 seconds to spare. So learn the level, learn we can take a hit with spikes, which makes you hit a star straight afterwards. Learn some places where you can jump without using the platform in the middle. There's a lot of places like that which I didn't realise I could do. Eventually I discovered those. But honestly, you'll spend a lot of time just working it out, but it's worth it. And then finally, all levels perfectly. Just take your time. You don't need to do them in a certain time. So take your time, get all the stars, pick off any enemies that are killable, and you will get your completion. Honestly, it's not a quick completion. I probably put, I don't know, will it tell me in the stats? Let's have a look. Best games, no, it doesn't tell you how much time I spent, but when I did eventually do it in one run, I did it in just under an hour. So I'm probably going to say, yeah, I probably put about 15 hours into this game. But it was fun. It was fun. I can't. Yeah, it made me pull my hair out in a few moments, but it was fun. Heroes Trials, Maka91 has a guide on his channel. It's under half an hour long. It's quick. It's easy. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's quite fun. I wouldn't say a lot of fun. It's quite fun with the guide. Sega Mega Drive Classics. I had this sitting on 660, so I revisited it and pulled out 5 achievements off of it, bringing it up to 850. I have actually made achievement guides for 4 of those 5 achievements, so check my channel out for those. Dragon Ball Fighters, that was free for a weekend with gold if you have it. Obviously I do. So I played it. Unfortunately I was on shift for the entire weekend, so I never had a whole day or much of a day to throw at this. So I just played it for as much as I can. And thankfully a lot of the achievements on this are offered just for doing the game really, and rather than completing it. So rather than having to do anything too hard, there are 3 story arc modes. There's an achievement tied to each of those. I only managed to finish one. Where are we? Complete a quest tutorial. That kind of just happened as soon as I started the game. You press right button to bring them up, and that kind of must have been a quest in itself because it just unlocks straight away. When you play story, that'll come easy. I think that's even in the first or second map within the first story arc. You'll have to do that to progress on. In the arcade mode, there's 3 arcs, or 3 courses, should we say. The first one's 3 fights, which is that one. The second one's 5 fights, which is that one. You don't have to do it all without failing. You can continue multiple times. There is one with 7. That'll be further up in a minute. Online achievements, thankfully they're nothing to do with wins, just playing them. So although local battle can be done offline too, actually I did that offline and nabbed that. You can set up a tournament against the CPU offline and just have 2 opponents in it and whack their damage all the way down to 1 while yours remains on 100. 2 fights later you've won a tournament. Simple. Check out true achievements for this one, because there's a certain character where if you do what I call the Rai Hadouken inputs and press RB and then hold RB, it will do more than 5,000 damage. But there's only one character that does it. Really sorry, I can't remember who it was, but I looked it up on true achievements. I'm not claiming someone else's work as my own. 7 quests above it, that kind of happened by accident as well, because obviously right bumper, it'll get you some of the currency, in-game currency, so that kind of just happened. That's the 7 course one that I was on about. Finishing that story arc, which is this one. As long as you don't change out your Goku, your main character, he'll get up to level 20 whilst you're going for that one. Replay channel, which I watched one in online mode. While I did that, I did exactly what it says on the screen. And again, thankfully, the online stuff, again, it's just quantity over actually needing to be any quality. Because I played a ranked match, and I played an arena match, a world match, and then 10 and 20 casual matches. Ranked matches, I played 10 and 20. I must admit, I kind of, rather than backing out and having to wait for another match, when I realised I got up to about 16 and rematched, I come up against a guy who's really good and absolutely whips my ass. So I kind of just rematched it another 4 or 5 times to get up to 20, so that I didn't have to wait for another match. I'd like to say I let him win, but he was always going to kick my ass anyway, so I just kept rematching and just got it done. The other one to mention is observer match. Honestly, just press B in the arena match section and put your controller down and walk away, because it can take up to 20 minutes, over 20 minutes to even just have it fine one. So that's what I did, and when I came back from making a cup of coffee and doing something else, I came back and it unlocked. Apart from that, I think on the last day before I went to work, it was available. I completed all the battle tutorials. So I got 480 out of it. It's a shame I didn't have time to finish the other 2 story arcs. I played the first story arc again and get my character up to level 40 within that, because that would have been another 80G, and I could probably play 10 arena matches as well. Got another 100 to 200 out of it, basically totaled. But for a free weekend, I'm happy with the 480 I pulled out of that. Bedlam, the game by Christopher Brookmeyer. Now, I'd like to give this a good review, but I don't like giving games bad reviews, especially when they're by indie developers. Just going to say it wasn't for me. However, I had it sitting in my backlog for probably 3 years, and I thought, you know what, it says 8 to 10 hours and is easy completion. It's 8 to 10 hours as long as you can find things straight away in certain sections. I had a lot of trouble finding things, like finding this fire sword in one section. It took me ages. I've looked in the stats and my game time was actually clocked up at 16 hours. People have been doing it in 8 to 10 and maxing it out, so I found it a bit finicky, and I didn't really enjoy it, to be honest with you. Certain sections I did. I'm not going to tear into it too much, but I didn't really enjoy it a great deal. However, it's not difficult, it's lengthy, it can be a bit fiddly at times, it can be a bit frustrating at times, but yeah, I think a fair margin, a lot of sites give it 8 to 10, I think a fair margin is more 10 to 12, and say that it is easy to tricky completion. Okay, I spoke about this a great deal in the first part of January, so go back and watch the last 4 to 5 minutes of that if you want to hear about the easy stuff in this. I remember to play every day this month, so I got a 70G achievement for completing successfully every daily challenge, which unlocked the diamond badge along the way. So as I say, yeah, for more in-depth details on this, please watch the end of the first video on January part 1, and you'll hear about the easy stuff and why it will take a year to complete, even though it is easy. The only thing I will say is just please avoid the fact they've added a premium service in where you can pay for double XP and double coins for either a month or for lifetime. If you're going for all the achievements, trust me, completing all the maps, which I still need to do, there are 12 of them, I'm only halfway through them. If I put more time into it, I can get that done quicker. Seriously, you're going to get the XP you need to get to level 80 basically for one achievement. You're going to get all the coins you need within the daily challenges as long as you remember to play them enough. Certainly if you play them every day you'll get the diamond one. Please don't invest that money into it. You don't need to. Okay, Neo Geo Ghost Pilots. This was available recently in the sale for half price at £3.20 here in the UK, and that's probably going to sit on 820 for a lot of people. I might be able to get, with a lot of practice, another 80 out of it, and that is purely because the two high score modes, the two highest scoring brackets in the high score mode, are difficult. I mean, 100,000 in that is not hard at all, but 200,000 is tricky. 400,000, honestly, if you're one of the 4.7% that has that achievement, I seriously, I'm clapping my hands at you there. That is not easy. The caravan mode ones, the top marker is 120,000. That is quite easily doable with a bit of practice through the first level. You'll practically be there, and you'll probably get enough of the second level done if you manage to retain your lives. Original mode, Do Not Panic, 1 million, 1.5 million and 2 million are actually really easily achievable. I mean, I cranked it down to level 1 and then maxed the lives out to 99, which you can do in the settings, and only got to 1.4 million before I lost those 99 lives. But do not panic, because if you get to the end of the original mode, you actually get granted 10 million points for completing the game. So therefore, you unlock all the achievements required for the original mode along the way. So, yep, you're going to find 820 of this game very easy, or relatively easy, and then you'll be like, wow, those two in high score mode are going to take some work. Okay, so finally in January part 2, I was all ready to declare at that for the month, and then I was like, do you know what, I've still got a few hours this evening left. What can I do in my backlog? And then I saw Donut County, and I knew Mako91, my guide guy as I call him, had a video on this with an hour and 15-minute run time. There are a lot of missable achievements in it, but again, it's another bang-on guide, so if you use that at the same time, you're going to mop those up along the way, or he'll explain at the end why you need to just go back and revisit a level to get one more achievement. But it's a really good guide, and also at the same time, this game was a lot of fun. It's a strange premise where you just hold and you swallow up stuff to make yourself bigger, and you kind of have to do these little things which you can do to move on the levels. But it was a lot of fun, and yeah, so I did have the guide on so that I wouldn't miss any of the missable achievements. But I did a lot of it myself at the same time as well, and then watched it afterwards and was like, or listened to what he had to say beforehand, so that I didn't miss any. He said there's a missable achievement in this level, because he always says it at the beginning, which is great when you're following a guide. So that wraps up the just over 12,000 that I got in January part 2. So I hope there was some useful information in there for you. I want to thank you in joining me in continuing this journey. It's been a good month. I was going to say, obviously this was sitting on exactly a $250,000 going into the year, so as you can see, I've added exactly 26,165 this month. So if that rate continues, I'll be happy. Obviously it's February next, and that is a shorter month, so I'll be interested to see what I can do with that. What to expect in that video, I'm going to play one of each of the games with golds in the first half, and we'll see how we do out of those. I have a couple of completions already lined up in the back of my head, with one that I can do before I go to work tomorrow, because I'm on a very late evening shift. So I'm going to get that done hopefully in the morning, full completion, and yeah, I'm going to hopefully do some more some backlog catching up and some chipping away at some achievements in games that I've already started. So, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you again for watching. Please subscribe for more of these update videos. I hope to be doing more achievement guides as well, so subscribe for that, and any likes will help with, especially with YouTube's algorithm, as I'm quite a fledgling YouTuber. And yeah, again guys, just thanks for watching, and as always, take care.